Now, listen, you guys, it seems like Rah Ali decided to just come out here and expose herself and basically show her hand in this entire Nicki Minaj situation because I do not know who advised her to write that letter, but it was laced with a lot of proof that, in fact, she was never a true friend, despite her trying to convince us in the first paragraphs of that so called letter. We're going to discuss about that. And I'm also living for the fact that Nicki is out there paying her dust because what did you think you were going to get out of this? You thought Nicki was going to clap back at you and then you would turn around and say, look at her, angry black woman, ha ha ha. I thank God that she didn't fall for that. We're going to discuss about that. We're also going to be talking about the stuff that I was supposed to talk about yesterday at Vovo BBO's album and Nicki letting us know what's going on in as far as the album is concerned. Hello, tea lovers, and welcome to the Tea Plug. I trust you guys are doing well and I trust you are doing great. Personally, I am doing great, you guys. I am doing extremely amazing. And without further ado, let us dive straight into today's tea. So, I think let's start with the shorter topics because I realize that, well, if I do start with the main topic of the video, I sometimes talk for quite a long time. And then to get back to the shorter topics, it becomes hard. So let's look at what Nicki is saying about this upcoming album. I really do love that she seems to be focused, on her album, and none of the noise from outside seems to be bothering. And that all is happening, of course, amidst the viral Bees in the Trap challenge, which has a lot of people hopping onto it. Even some of them that in the past might have seemed they do not like Nicki Minaj. I mean, I did see even Karuchi doing the challenge, and I also saw Jessica Dime wanting to do the challenge. Some babs feel like, well, you were being messy and talking about you want to fight Nicki Minaj when you bump into her, so you lost your right to be included in anything that pertains Nicki Minaj. Given, of course, that, well, she was in the original video, but, well, she's one of the people who hopped quickly on the H train and really thought that this was going to be Nicki Minaj's end. And for me, I still side eye a lot of people that jumped on the H train because it shows to me that a lot of times people may be around you, but they will be out there literally waiting for your downfall. And so at the slightest sign that, well, something bad might be happening to you, they hop onto that bandwagon. Let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about Jessica Dime and her wanting to do the challenge. More and more people are joining in on the fun as well. I mean, I even saw Lady Gaga. She also did the challenge. And I also did see even corporates are now joining the challenge. And this is the thing about any trend that relates to Nicki Minaj. Even corporates want to be included because, well, that is impact, that is influence, okay? And people were joking around saying that, well, they do know that Lizzo also wants to join the challenge, but because she's friends with Caesar and she's also friends, she recently did the song with Advovo BBL, then, she's not able to do it. But they were like, we know 100%, for sure that she does want to do the challenge. And then somebody said the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard on the internet. Somebody said that, well, if that pin is looking friend that Lizzo has, referring of course to Advovo BBL, tries to mess with her, all she has to do is to sit on it. I'm just like, you guys are wild. Like, wow. Penny's looking female rapper is insane. What is that? But anyway, that being said, let me know in the comment section, you guys, who are some of the people that surprised you when you saw them doing the challenge. Now, moving back to the album and what Nicki had to say, about what's coming. Somebody said, I'm ready to experience this new journey with you. 3/27/26 is coming. And Nicki responded and said, this is the transformational album that I never saw coming. I honestly thought I would be writing from a similar place, but that's just not possible anymore. This is a different glow. And I do believe her when she says that. I really can tell that something is definitely happening behind the scenes. I feel like even though people may want to come on here and call them rants, I feel like it's actually therapeutic to be able to speak out, pertaining people who thrive in your silence. And up to now, some people don't understand why she continues to speak up, because if you were not there 2019, 2018, 2020, it may be easy for you to say Nikki should shut up, no, Nikki should not address all of these things, Nikki should keep quiet. But back in the years that I just mentioned, what made the rumors thrive is she felt like maybe if she wouldn't address everything, these people would leave her alone. But the more she kept quiet, the more these media platforms lied on her, of course, being polarized by certain people. So at this point, she's somebody who's understood that I'm doomed if I speak out and I'm doomed if I do not. And these people are not used or did not calculate that, well, there would come a time when Nikki would still speak, when she wouldn't mind being called crazy and she would still continue speaking her truth to the point where even other people that they have done wrong would also feel empowered to speak out. So when she says that she is writing from a different space or place, I do believe her, because she has taken off her chest all of these things that these people have been doing, and I really will forever respect her for refusing to pay hush money so that people don't talk about the lawsuits around her husband or her brother, because up to now that is the same ammunition they would still be using to come at her. But as it now, she doesn't have any skeletons to hide. That's why they're now going around throwing everything around. I mean, what happened in real time in our own eyes, that a grown woman would use a child to say your child is nonverbal and that's tea on you, shows you how vile the industry as a whole is. Not just Advocate BBL. Advocate BBL is just doing what she knows is done in that industry and is condoned in that industry. That somebody would come with a child's condition, which is not even proven, to say this is tea. That's crazy to me, because any and everything that Nikki ever said in that back and forth with Advovo BBL is nothing but stuff that has been on the public domain. She didn't come saying I've got tea on you, no. So personally, I just feel like she is in a different space, and we're gonna get the Nicki Minaj that is unfiltered. But anyway, that being said, as we wait and anticipate the album, it seems like Advocate BBO is also teasing her own album. She was on live talking about she has another album coming in the next year, in October, I guess, next year. And at this point, I'm just like, at what point do you sit back, bake your baby, and be normal? Yeah, it's okay to sit back, bake, the baby that you have in your tummy, relax. Don't raise, your blood pressure for nothing, because I mean, clearly you came with the target to outdo Nicki Minaj's album. It failed. And that's okay. Let it go. Create your own identity. This is the time for you to rebrand and create your own identity. But wait, she knows she doesn't have an identity except being Nicki Minaj's op. That's why she will never give up on that dream of trying to outsell Nicki Minaj, because that is the only time that she will ever be relevant. And it's sad to watch, because you cannot tell me that you recently just dropped an album. You're already paying it dust. Already. And now, because this woman is coming up with an album in March, all of a sudden you are ready to record and produce and come out with an album within less than a year from the date that you released your old, the previous album, when it took you 7 years. But all of a sudden, because Nikki is coming after like 2 or 3 years, all of a sudden you're also coming after within less than a year. She still has hopes that she would be able to outdo Nicki Minaj's album, which is sad. At this point, the obsession, honestly, is just so sad. I mean, it's pathetic looking at her. The last live that, when I looked at that live, I was like, oh my God, this is so sad. This is so sad. This cannot be someone's life. Like, You can tell that she doesn't even believe some of the things that she will be out there saying on that live. You can tell that it's like a pep talk. She's trying to like pep talk herself into believing that she's still all that people care about her music, that she's still in the like you can tell. And Stefan is not helping it either with how he's been moving. Oh, poor little thing. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Let us talk about Rashida Ali, okay? Grab your pen and your paper because class has just commenced, okay? This is a lesson to even all of you who are also listening, because in as much as we look at this as entertainment, we can learn a thing or two from these people, because stuff like this still happens to some of us, with some of us, even in our own lives. Rashida Ali decided to come out here and basically show how much of a snake she is. I'm going to try to be calm, okay? I'm going to try to not speak very fast so that we can be on the same page. Now, previously on this channel, there were people that came and said that, well, Rah Ali bringing up the fight at the airport that no one has any proof of during Advocate BBL's rollout, and the theme of the album is Am I the Drama, was strategic. A lot of you came in the comment section and you said that. At that point, to be honest, I felt like, well, this might actually be far-fetched. But with how Rah has been moving, I'm like, actually, you guys were onto something. I do admit I was a little bit slow on that one. Now, when the Tasha K allegations came out, where Tasha was accusing Rah of allegedly probably taking from Nicki Minaj, I was like, okay, maybe that Advovo BBL theory wasn't so far fetched after all. I still had my doubts. But after the statement that Rah Ali released, I am looking at her and I'm like, girl, you are an enemy. You are one of those people that draw close to people for the benefits of being in close proximity of those people. But deep down, you want the worst for them. Because there is nothing in that letter that she wrote that says I'm a friend. If anything, it says I am an enemy. We're going to read that letter and go paragraph by paragraph, analyzing the undertones of everything that Rah Ali was saying. Now, for the sake of context, some of you were not following exactly what was going on. Now, Tasha K came out with some tea surrounding Nicki Minaj's team. Allegedly, a stylist that worked for Nicki Minaj, his name is Deandra, was taking from Nicki Minaj and was swiping her cards without, her approval. And it ended up in a lawsuit, okay? It ended up in Nicki actually suing the so-called stylist. Now, it is Tasha K who broke the news about that. And then Tasha K started insinuating that actually Rah Ali also has been involved in some shady stuff in as far as Nicki Minaj is concerned. And she explicitly said on her show that, well, she told Nicki Minaj about this, about Rah Ali allegedly being slimy when it comes to Nicki Minaj. Now, Nicki has never directly addressed any of these people. The only direct address that we have from Nicki Minaj in as far as the, Thifasian is concerned is the lawsuit directed to the stylist. And her saying there are 4 more people that were taken from her. Now, Nicki Minaj never, ever, ever said that Rah Ali had been stealing from her. Neither did she say that Brooke Bailey was stealing from her, because the last time I checked, neither Rah Ali nor Brooke Bailey are part of Nicki Minaj's team. Because I would like to believe that anything that they had is nothing but a friendship. And even in those Instagram stories where Nicki was talking about people messing with her Amex, she said that her team, that's what she said. Okay, to which Brooke Bailey came out and debunked, the lies whilst there might have been some shade, but it was nothing vile. It was just like, I'm not beefing with no one. And people thought like she could have said that I'm not beefing with Nicki, right? But not once did Brooke Bailey come out and say that get help, you're mentally unstable. She did not insinuate anything like that. Now, a fallout with a friend like that, I would gladly, understand and accept. Okay, people grow apart, people fall out, people, cease to be friends, and it's okay. But what is not okay is for you to come out here throwing shade and propelling narratives about me and my mental health, knowing how dangerous it is for Black women out there, especially in the entertainment industry. As someone who once cared for for that human being, for you to come riding on those narratives is appalling to me. Not only is it appalling, it's rather careless and cruel. So, on that note, I would like to commend Brooke Bailey. I'm not saying that she's innocent, but in as far as a response is concerned, if she did throw some shade, it was light. It was nothing detrimental. It was nothing damaging. But what Rah Ali did, I want you guys to learn, is exactly an example of what an enemy faking to be a friend sounds like after a friendship breakup. We all have lost friends. We all have grown apart with friends, but you are a toxic human being. Yes, I'm talking about you. You are a toxic human being if after every fallout with a friend, you start going around spilling information about that friend that you only had access to because of your access to her. If somebody told you something about themselves in confidence because you were friends, and then you fall out, and then you move around telling people about that person's life and stuff like that, to me, it is a cowardly behavior. And up to now, I will tell you that this is something that you will never see coming from me. I have fallen out with some friends. But one thing I will not do is go around spilling their tea or their secrets that they told me in confidence or that I had access to because of my proximity to them. Because there was once love there. Now, if there was never love, okay, if it has always been secret animosity, you will find it very easy to come with that tea to the public. But anyway, let's read what Rashida Ali had to say. And I just want to quickly commend Nicki Minaj for not feeding into this, because I do believe that this was a calculated attempt to get her to clap back at her, because I believe she had more to say to Nicki Minaj in terms of insults and stuff like that. She wanted her moment. She wanted a moment. She wanted a war for everyone to see and for her to say whatever that has been in her chest for that long time. But now she was thinking if she comes from this angle, she would get Nicki Minaj worked out. That being said, before we read the statement also, it is also to note that, well, with this whole Tasha K and Rah Ali situation, those two do not see eye to eye, and it didn't start yesterday. Tasha has been saying over and over again that Rah Ali is out there using Nicki Minaj and Nicki Minaj's name to, get attention in some negotiations without Nicki's consent. Tasha has been saying that on her platform, and do not worry, I also do have the receipts for that. So this is not something that started yesterday. And not once did Tasha K come and say that, well, it is Nicki Minaj who told me this tea. If anything, she said that she told Nicki Minaj that. So for Rah Ali to address the letter to Nicki Minaj and not to the direct person who said something about her shows to me that she's looking for a reason to go back and forth with Nicki Minaj. If she has been silently cut off, she feels bitter to the point where she wants Nicki to go back and forth with her, and Nicki Minaj is not giving her that. She wants an excuse to come at Nicki Minaj publicly. Because Nicki, if probably she stopped talking to her and stuff like that, she just did it quietly. And now she's looking for a reaction so that when she starts spewing all these vile things about Nicki Minaj, it would be justified. Because why are you addressing the letter to Nicki Minaj in the first place? When it was Tasha K who came out and said that. When it is also not Tasha K's first time to come at you. Now, I can only draw two possible reasons as to why she did this. The first would be somebody might be incentivizing. It's an opinion and it's a possibility. Is there someone behind the scenes who is incentivizing you to say these things? Two, are you just a bitter friend? But anyway, let's read this BS letter that she decided to write to Nicki Minaj. She said, Nicki, and first of all, this is being done on a public platform to someone she's claiming to have loved and she's claiming to be a friend. That in itself tells you how much of an op she is. Because you cannot tell me that you're this woman's friend or you're trying to pose as this woman's friend and you're writing a public letter like this when this woman never ever addressed you at all. So she said, Nicki, throughout the duration of our friendship, I have been nothing but loyal and genuine. And while you do not get a reward for doing what you're supposed to do, you certainly shouldn't get penalized for it. Even if you're going through a hard time right now, I can't allow you to destroy me and the business I've built. Okay, let's dissect this paragraph and see. Because people can say one thing and their actions can show you the other thing. Okay? She's saying that throughout the duration of their friendship, she's been nothing but loyal and genuine. The fact that you're penning a public letter to someone you once considered a friend, to me, is not giving genuine. It's giving you want attention. It's giving you want a reaction from someone who never accused you of doing anything. And then she's saying Nicki's penalizing her when Nicki never spoke on her. And then she went forward to say, even if you're going through a hard time. What hard time is that, Rah Ali? In one breath, you're telling us that you have been a loyal and genuine friend. And in another breath, you are coming and speaking up on Nicki Minaj's life and telling us that she's having a hard time. Which hard time? Is it financial? Is it mental? Is it emotional? What hard time is this? Because as far as I'm concerned, Nicki never came out to say to us that she's going through a hard time. So where are you getting this information, Rah Ali? So that entire first paragraph is self-contradictory. It is self-contradictory. Because how dare you come on a public platform telling us that somebody is having a hard time when that person never told us that she's having a hard time? If it's pertaining to the H train, it's been going on for years. So surely you can't be referring to the Jay-Z tactics and the industry tactics to say that it's a hard time. Because she has been always going through a hard time, even when you met her, even when you became friends. This has been going on. So what are you insinuating, Rah Ali? There is nothing genuine about this letter. It's giving BS. It's giving showing your hand. It's giving looking for a reaction. That's what this first paragraph is giving. Now let's move on to the second paragraph. She said, I cannot tell you how much it saddens me that you have now decided to turn on me, the person who was actually in your corner. As far as the public is concerned, we haven't seen Nicki Minaj turn on Rah Ali. Never. Never, ever, ever. I don't know if behind the scenes Nicki called her and told her that I'm now turning on you. But then again, if Nicki called her and told her that I'm turning on you, I think your response should have been in private. If Nicki did reach out in private and if she did tell you that she has issues with you, well, that could have been resolved behind the scenes. But in as far as the public is concerned, Nicki never said she had issues with you. So I don't know where the turning on me is concerned. Like, where is that coming from? And then she went ahead to say that the person was actually in your corner. You've empowered and given license to others to spread deplorable lies about me, smearing my character and throwing away the friendship. How did Nicki Minaj empower Tasha K if Tasha K is the one that came to Nicki and said, this is what Rah Ali has been doing, allegedly? How is Nicki Minaj empowering that? And for some of you who are running around saying that Nicki retweeted what Tasha K said, it was about the stylist. And when it pertains to the stylist, he has an alleged reputation of swiping people's cards and swindling people, allegedly. I don't even know if I should be saying allegedly anyway. But there are literally other cases of him being accused of doing the same thing. His literal ex even came out and said the same thing about thieving. And that's what Nicki retweeted. So for you who are trying to say that Nicki retweeting or liking anything that Tasha K said insinuates that, well, she's supporting the Rah Ali thing when Rah and Tasha have been at it for years and it had absolutely nothing to do with Nicki, that's crazy. That is crazy. And then she said, to be lied on by someone you do not know is one thing. For it to come from you is unimaginable. And here it is again, trying to call Nicki Minaj a liar. Where did she say this about you, Rah? And these cheap games, you see, these cheap games were miscalculated because you thought it was 2018 and you thought people would just eat up any lie that you put out about this woman. But enough is enough, Rah. Like, it's not 2018 anymore. Like, it's not. The whole world is watching. The whole world can speak up and see what you're doing. And then she said, you have put me and so many people who care for you and have rooted for you at risk. By so many people, are you referring to Deandra? Because who else are you talking about, Rah Ali? Who else has Nicki ever spoken about to? That, who? Who? Like now, let me tell me, is there now a background thing that's now going on? Do you guys have a secret group where you feel like Nicki is putting you at risk as friends? And that would actually be interesting. The fact that you are forming groups behind the scenes as people who supposedly, and I put that in quotes, care for Nicki Minaj is absurd to me. So this second paragraph, my conclusion with it is that she's trying to propel a narrative that Nicki is lying on her. She's trying to make Nicki say, Tasha, stop, which she doesn't have authority to do. Like, she doesn't have an obligation to do because you guys don't see eye to eye. So that's not happening. And Nicki never lied on you, Rah Ali. Stop with the lies, okay? You are the liar, clearly. You're lying because Nicki, as far as the public is concerned, never ever lied on you. And I emphasis on the public because this letter is meant to clear her name clearly to the public. So for you to want to clear your name to the public, and for you to say that Nicki is lying to you, to the public, it means that, well, you think that Nicki said you stole from her in public, which she never did. Thank God the public is here to testify and say that this woman never once said anything about your name. And then the last paragraph that I feel like is not only careless but cruel and dark reads, Miss Onika Tanya Petty, Maraj Petty, let's stop playing games with our lives. If any of these allegations were true, we would be having a very different conversation, wouldn't we? And again, she's directly addressing Nicki Minaj when Nicki never, ever, ever said anything about these allegations to her. Unless if she's writing this later on behalf of Deandra. Because Deandra is the only person, as far as we know, that got the lawsuit. So unless she is saying she's part of Nicki Minaj's team and she's speaking on behalf of Deandra, this is all BS, Rah Ali. And you're a disgusting human being. And then she said, show the evidence or apologize. It's the demands for me. It's the delusional demands for me. Instead of sensationalizing headlines, get offline and seek help. Now, this is where I said Rah Ali is a witch. Not just a witch, but a very dark, wicked, cruel witch. You have dark energy. You are disgusting. I've never called anyone disgusting like this. I've never been disgusted by a human being like I'm being disgusted by Rah Ali, right? Disgusting piece of trash. That's what you are. Get offline and seek help. You know what you're doing by this. You are literally insinuating that this woman needs help. Do you have proof for that? Isn't it ironic that in one breath you're saying she has to show evidence, but in another breath you're coming out talking about seek help? Do you have evidence? Do you have a medical records? Are you perhaps the person was feeding advocate BBL with this? Oh, this is not alleged. You are mentally unstable. You have this. You are schizo. You're this. Are you the person that has been feeding all these people these lies? And let's say if Nicki really was going through some mental issues, let's say indeed she had mental health problems. Hypothetically speaking, let's say Nicki had mental health issues as a friend. As a friend, this is what you decide to do. And in the first paragraph, you were trying to convince us that you were a loyal and genuine friend. Nobody who ever had love for someone, no one who ever had respect for someone, no one who has ever been genuine to someone would try to weaponize the mental health being of that person against them. It's done by witches. It's not normal people. It's people like Advocate BBL that use things like that as ammunition that do that. But then again, we already know that Advocate BBL has got dark energy. Okay, she has dark energy, and we expect such from her. So now what you're just telling me is that you are in the same category with this woman, because no sane person would ever use anything insinuating mental health to try and make it seem like it's a clapback. This is Laura. This is disgusting. And I hope the Lord deals with you accordingly. I really do hope that. I hope God deals with you accordingly, because people like you are disgusting. We have all witnessed what happened with Wendy Williams. We all witnessed what happened with Britney. We all saw how dangerous it is for the media to propel that a person is mentally unstable. We saw how that worked out for other women in the entertainment industry. And for you to come and, as someone who's claiming to have at some point loved Nicki Minaj, for you to come out here and propel a narrative like that, whether it was true or not, for you to come publicly and say things like this, you're a disgusting human being. You're an animal. You're an animal. Disgusted. Like, I literally feel like spitting. Oh my God, I am so disgusted. I've never been disgusted by a human being like this. It's fake friends like this disgust me. And you can be a fake friend, but not knowing where to draw the lines and not knowing the danger of your own words is insane to me. Because what do you think is going to happen? Charlamagne and Lauren LaRosa are going to go on the Breakfast Club and they'll start talking about this. And guess what? They're going to start emphasizing the fact that Nicki Minaj needs help. All these platforms that are being polarized are going to come out here and bank on this letter to say that even Nicki Minaj's friend is saying she should go out there and seek help. Disgusted is an understatement. And I hope the Lord deals with you accordingly. I really do hope that. And I've never gotten to that point on this channel, but this is disgusting. This is sad. When you're surrounded by people like this, it's pathetic. It's pathetic, Rah. It's sad. A very low blow, a very disgusting blow, especially given that this woman never came publicly and said that you stole from her. She said, reclaim your peace, your time, and your crown. No, you reclaim your sanity. Reclaim your sanity, Rah. That's what you need to reclaim. You don't need to be on the internet telling anyone to reclaim anything. Reclaim your sanity. Reclaim your heart. Reclaim your light energy, because you're exuding dark, evil, mean-spirited energy. That's what you're exuding. You need to reclaim that. Reclaim your light. I don't know where you lost it. Was it when you were at the airport interacting with Advovo BBL and faking a back and forth in an altercation? Wherever you lost that light, go and reclaim it, because this is dark. And you can tell, like I was saying, Brooke Bailey was able to clear her name, but not once did we see her saying that, oh my God, she needs help, she needs this. This is the difference between a friend and someone who has always hated you. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that Nicki is perfect to all her friends. No, I'm not going to sit here and say that. She may have fallen out with Brooke Bailey. We do not know what happened behind the scenes. We don't know the reason why they fell out. So I'm not here to say that in their fallout, Nicki Minaj was right. Neither am I here to say that in her fallout with Rah Ali, Nicki Minaj was right. I'm not saying that. But it is how you are handling the situation to the public that shows me whether you at some point loved this woman or whether you've always been an enemy. And to me, Rah Ali is giving always been an op. have been looking for an opportunity. To me, Brooke Bailey is giving me maybe a friend that fell out with a friend and is still salty and bitter, which you're allowed to do. If you do decide to throw shade after a friendship breakup, I still believe that's childish. But if you decide to go that route, know when to draw the lines. Know where to draw the lines. You cannot put somebody's entire well being at risk because you want to be petty. It means that you never loved that person. We have friends that we don't mess with anymore. We have friends that we don't talk to anymore, but we know when to draw the lines. I remember a couple of years ago, there's a friend that I just didn't want to be a part of my life. Like, I just was not feeling the friendship anymore. And, I was like, I'm done. And I was avoiding her. And I was like, I don't want to be hanging with this person because they were very persistent. The type of person that would do you dirty and still show up at your doorstep without warning, without notification, nothing. The kind of person that each time you try to cut them out, they would just bombard you at your sister's house, or they would call your family to find out where you are. I had a friend like that. And I decided to, just end it with her. But guess what? As I was actively trying to end things with her, a family member of hers let me know that she was going through something, that was very, very difficult. It was a very, yeah, it was a hard time. I had to put whatever that aside, because in as much as I feel like this person is not healthy for me at this point, because I don't hate them, because I do love them. I just don't want them to be close to me, but I love them. I don't hate them. I had to put all that aside and be with them in that moment. Okay? And then I was there for them in that moment. And then after that, after I realized that, well, they recovered through whatever it is that they were going through, I went back to my life. But even after the breakup, not once. I mean, a lot of people have called me wanting to find out what happened, because we used to be very tight. The wedding, her marriage happened, and I was invited, but I knew I didn't want, because the more I would continue doing this, I knew that it was going to be difficult to end the friendship. I politely declined. And of course, people who saw pictures and I wasn't there, you know how messy people are? They were reaching out. Oh, what happened? Were you not invited? We heard that her in-laws don't like her. All this stuff. People really thought that, well, if she wasn't there, it means they fell out. And so now we have tea on this person. And guess what I did? Acted oblivious. I was like, oh, really? They don't like her? I don't know that. As far as I know, they love her. They love her, absolutely. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, they adore her. And then others were like, were you not invited? And I was like, no, I was invited, but I had traveled out of the country for work. It was a little bit last minute, because you guys do know that, well, the date was a different date. And so when the last date was set, I'd already traveled, but, we spoke about it. She understood. And I never had anything negative to say to everybody who came out wanting some tea. And guess what? Up to now, you will never get that person's tea from me, because at some point that was my friend. And I genuinely loved her. Still do. Just from afar. So even in your life, if you ever see a friend who's quick to spill your tea when you fall out, just know that was never your friend. That being said, I do hope that Nicki also learns a lesson, okay? In as far as loyalty is concerned. A person who's quick to switch on their friend to the other side is a person you cannot put right, in your business like this. The way that Ra was so comfortable switching between Remy and Nicki Minaj told me everything I needed to know about the kind of person that she is. She will go wherever she feels like she will benefit the most. That is Rah Ali. But then knowing Nicki Minaj, I don't even think that she put her that close to her. Because each time they would always post around each other, it was almost like a group setting. If it wasn't a group setting, it didn't look like it's something intimate. Do you get what I'm saying? It never looked like it was something intimate. It didn't look like that daily friendship where you're calling in to check in on each other. And I do believe that's the kind of setup that they had, because I would be disappointed if I find out that Nicki really truly befriended, Rah Ali as an actual proper friend. That would be disappointing to me. Pay attention to who's quick to switch on their friends. Pay attention to who's trying to be friends with everyone, because a friend to everybody is a friend to no one. I do hope this goes to teach you also, guys, a lesson in as far as navigating your real life is concerned. I mean, I said the same thing about Jetavia as well. How quick she was to switch from Advovo to Nicki Minaj, from Nicki Minaj to this. I was like, okay, I know this energy. And people like that, oftentimes, when they surround us, they overdo the love. It's almost like love bombing, where they may even make your other friends that have been around you for a long time feel like they're non-existent. And with this former friend of mine that I'm talking about, I met her through a mutual friend. And by the time that semester in college ended, she had successfully earned her spot to being the main friend. Dumb, I know. Daft, I know. But in my defense, I was young and naive, okay? And within a very short space of time, she was able to displace my friend that I'd known her through, and she had made her way to the top. And the sad part is, when we were about to leave university, my friend, that friend of mine, had to sit down with me, and she said, "You broke my heart." And she said, "I watched you in real time care less about me and care more about this person. And for the past 4 years, it's been hard on me." And I didn't even notice that. That's the sad part. Because when I tell you, those people that secretly resent you, they do it so good to the point where you may not notice it. I will not tell you how many times I tried to end this friendship, but I would fail each time because, like I told you, she had no problem stalking me to the point of even calling my sisters and finding out where I am. If I say I'm not available, if I don't pick up my phone, she's calling my niece to find out where I am. That's how bad it was. So I say this to say, beware of friends that love bomb you when they secretly hate you. And this became a pep talk, and I hope you were listening to it podcast style, because it's literally now 40 minutes, and you guys know how I dislike to do super long videos, but this had to be done because this was disappointing to me to the core. But that being said, in conclusion, I am also happy that Nicki Minaj did not feed into this. I'm happy that Nicki Minaj paid her dust, because I guess there was a miscalculation from her end that since Nicki Minaj is going off on everybody, she's going to go off on her. Or she's trying to find out if Nicki knows anything of, or if Nicki has evidence of any of her alleged doings. And Nicki, for paying it dust, continue to pay it dust. I do hope that by the time I finish recording this video, I don't log on to Twitter and see Nicki responding to that, because so far she has done a great job. I hope she continues to do that. You miscalculated, Ra. If somebody paid you to do this, you also, they miscalculated, okay? And if this is something, to get the conversation going about Nicki Minaj's mental health on these platforms, then you're a vile friend. Like I said, you're a very wicked friend, and I hope God deals with you accordingly. Until my next one, see you.